Welcome gamers to Last Call Gaming, the weekly gaming news show that keeps you up to date on all things video games. But more importantly guys, we like to give things away, and today is the last entry for the Call of Duty Modern Warfare giveaway. So 2 of our subscribers are going to be able to win that on the system of their choice. So make sure you stay tuned to the end of the episode to see how you enter, how you can win, and how you can get past entries for older episodes. But guys, if you want to hang out, grab yourself a beer and let's talk games. Welcome guys to Last Call Gaming. We are on episode 25. My name is Craig Prowse, and joining me is the man that wears a Naruto jacket better than any man I've ever seen. It's Major Montemary.
Does it look like I'm going really fast?
Well, if you just, from looking through like the window, it does. So, guys, we are on episode 25, which I think is a pretty good milestone so far.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think it'd make it past 2, but...
Yeah, few did. My mom sure as hell did it. But we're here to talk about a couple of things that have been popping off in the world of video game news. And one of the ones that Andrew and I both had our eye on for a little bit was Outer Worlds. Outer Worlds just came out with a 20-minute, pretty much an introduction into the game. So this is a game, guys, that's right around the corner. This is October 25th, done by Obsidian Entertainment. So, Andrew, we watched it actually online together the other day.
Yeah.
First takeaway from it, what did you think of it?
I actually really liked it, and what I liked more about it, because this company has made like a Fallout and a Elder Scrolls before, is that it wasn't like drab coloring. I liked how bright and vibrant it was, and that was one of my favorite things about it, because that was something I like Fallout, and I understand that that's what it is, but after playing Skyrim, which was like, that dark kind of, not that simple palette, and then Fallout 4, which is also that simple palette, when I went from playing Elder Scrolls Oblivion, which I felt was very bright, very vibrant, it was nice to be back on that, because even when you first walk out onto this planet after it crash lands, one of the first things you see, it's almost like a little bug animal style thing, but it's like a weird like neon green kind of color. The grass is like a really beautiful.
Everything's very flush. Everything's really popping out at you. Like Andrew said, just definitely looking at that and seeing like the bleak colors from past games to where they're totally taking a page to where this game needs to pop. It stands out very well visually. But did we see a lot in the trailer? I know me and you were watching it. We were on Xbox. We were kind of watching it together. It seemed like, I get that it's the introduction, but it just kind of seemed like they could have showed us, or at least maybe fast forwarded, because it was about 3 minutes or 4 minutes of what's happening, why you're crash landing, and then it took about 2 minutes to get going. So by the time you actually got to start seeing some gameplay, which there's other videos online, you can go watch more extensive gameplay, I think it only showed you about maybe 7 or so minutes.
Yeah, that's the criticism I always take with like these first 20 minutes of whatever of gameplay, is the person always plays as if they'd never played a game before in their life.
And so they're like up and down and
yeah, they're turning over like every little rock and every little thing. But I mean, I think they showed off some cool stuff as far as like, I think one of my favorite things, something you pointed out too,
the time deviation or whatever it's called.
I actually personally more like that when you're like laying low in the grass to hide, that the grass becomes transparent. You can kind of see it, so that way you know that you're hidden, but you can see where things are around you, so it's not actually blocking your field of view.
Yeah, because there's tons of games where you're, like, even I think Assassin's Creed, like when you're trying to hide in grass or whatever, and you're looking forward, it's blocking you, and you always got to kind of do this top-up view so you can see where your guy's at, where you can see. The grass just kind of became transparent, and you can just see through it. I thought that was a really good takeaway from it.
Yeah, no,
cool
I really like that concept of it. I mean, the color and everything else, like I said, with the grass and with the planet and everything, doesn't just go to that. Because even when you're looking at people's armor, like the armor,
you were saying that the attention that they had on that looked rusted.
Because you run into this group of people, I forget what their name is, but it's almost like they work for a company that like sells products, because that's how they kind of talk to you. Is they're like, hey, do you want to help us take out this gang of marauders? But you can only use this kind of, if you want to, you can use our weapons. We're on a wholesale, best of number 1 or whatever, giving you like a sales pitch. But they have this like bright yellow to it on top of like the rust, though, that you can see it's battle worn and it's all nicked, but there's still lots of color to it. So
I like that you point out what they're saying with that dialogue, because when you in the beginning when you run into that one kid who was kind of beat up and you had the option to heal him or not, he was kind of like, "Oh, are you a blah blah blah?" Because I'm not allowed to fraternize with anyone.
Yeah, it says it in the rules and regulations.
Yeah, so you can tell that there's a real kind of division between what faction or group that you're going to be a part of. But getting more into it, once you get past that and you kind of see the exploration, that was it time deviation? Is that what they were calling?
I think so. So like I think it's an answer to pretty much what Fallout's like VATS system in, except for instead of it slowing down and then the game automatically doing it for you, it pretty much just slows down time.
Slows down in real time,
right? So you can do whatever.
Yeah, I thought that was a really cool. The moment I was watching that, I was like, I wish more games had kind of concepts like this and without stopping the game completely, and it's a cool way. And doesn't I don't know if they gave it a name, but isn't there kind of like the Pit Boy character? Remember, it was the guy with like the moon face.
Oh,
and he
yeah,
had like the nose. So they got cool little mascots. And then we got into what kind of like the AI interaction is going to be, right? He cruises down there, or he or she cruises down there, and they start talking to the computer. And it starts telling them, like, I can't do this unless you're, what was the name of it?
Captain Hawthorne?
Alex Hawthorne.
Yeah.
And, no, just tell me you're Alex Hawthorne. So how'd you think about that, how that was going to play out?
I like that, and I think that this takes part of my favorite aspects from the Fallout games, is that it has that old-timey vibe. It's like people, like, technology has moved on. It's progressed a lot more. It's not just some rickshaw put together thing like what Fallout is. Like, time has progressed, but it's almost like the way people talk hasn't really, and so it's all got that 50s 60s vibe.
Well, because we had to look at this too. So when you actually see the beginning of it and you see that you crash landed, I think you said it was about like what 70 or so years that you've been in like a cryogenic
sleep
chamber. So I mean, time I guess would go by, but yeah, they still kind of seem like they're from a different era than I guess what you should be from that. So I mean, any other big things did you take away from like just watching the 20 minutes or so?
I think what I really liked about it, and because I wasn't a fan of it in Fallout 4, is that when you have the dialogue option, there's a ton of variation. There's a ton of options that you can do. I think there's a whole lot more. We'll get into the how you like spec your character out. There's a whole lot to that. But when you talk to somebody and it gives you the dialogue options, there's no spoken vocal anything back, so pretty much it's just the line of dialogue. Like, let's say I'm hungry, that's what the person takes it as. Whereas in Fallout 4, you could tell someone will be talking to you and you'll put on an option like, hey, would you mind leaving, I'm hungry, and then when your guy vocally says it back like, hey, give me your fucking food or I'll kill you. Like, it's complete, like, there
a reset.
Yeah, there's a bunch of times in Fallout 4 where I would like click on a dialogue option and it would be completely different than what I would want it to be. I could tell someone and be like, you know what, I don't feel like doing that right now, and be like, go figure it out for yourself. I don't want to do that. And that's completely not at all what I wanted to say, or what that dialogue option implied. So I'd have to fucking quit, go back to my save, and do it again, because now I just told somebody to fuck off while I'm really trying to progress my story and my relationship.
Yeah, we saw that a lot like in games like Mass Effect, where, because especially when there was like a good answer, bad answer, solid answer. So yeah, I like that there is no, you don't have to worry about what you're saying. What you're saying is staple, it's happening.
Verbatim, yeah.
What I also was going to ask is, so like you were saying, alluding to the character creation, I don't think we didn't get to see that in that, but you get to see.
They did a separate 9-minute video of just specking out the character, because there's a lot of options.
And you get to see it in that dialogue that it already gives you, like, are you going to go persuasion? Are you going to go intimidation? So it's got those good role playing mechanics that are already kind of embedded in this that you get to see. I was going to ask you this though. So this game is right around the corner, right? Comes out on October 25th. This is the next big game since they've done Gears 5, where it's going to be a game that's coming straight to the Game Pass.
Right, day one.
So when you look at something like Gears 5 that tanked commercially, but was the biggest online weekend, I think not
Fortnite off as the most played game.
Who does it? Who am I thinking? The Coalition had. Yeah. Is this going to hurt sales, or do we even look at it anymore? Do sales matter for this game? Like, if this game comes Game Pass, we're not going to go buy it, right? A lot of people were saying, like, at GameStop, I know a buddy of ours was saying, someone was asking them to pre-order it, but it's like, why would I pre-order it when I have the Game Pass?
Right.
So is this the next big game we're going to see a tank in sales, but a spike in concurrent players?
I mean, if it's coming day one, they must have been well compensated for it. So there's got to be some sort of algorithm. And I don't think that's ever anything that they'll really share. But that's something that I would be like very curious to talk to somebody about. Like, what is the worth lost to you? Are you speccing that I don't think my game is going to do this well, or they just way overcompensated us to where even if our game does above and beyond like whatever we're thinking it's going to do, we're still above that in the money range.
Yeah, because I'm curious, like, how are they gauging this? Because they obviously saw what it just happened to Gears, and they're not batting an eye. They're still going, hey, this game's coming out, right? The promotion's still saying Game Pass.
Well, that's another thing, and not to forget, is this game is probably coming to Game Pass day and date because Microsoft owns Obsidian. This game just happened to be in production well before that acquisition was even done, and so that's why it's on PS4 as well. But they were even, I think they just did an interview the other day for someone at Obsidian Studios that they said, you know, we kind of weren't really sure about the future and this and that Microsoft purchasing us was a load off our shoulders, and they haven't really done anything, I don't think, in a while that's been notable or memorable since, you know, that Fallout New Vegas, since that Elder Scrolls Oblivion.
So where do you think this falls into the scope of, like, the field that's going to... Is this going to take all the players that just got done playing Borderlands 3? Is this going to fill the void of everyone that's waiting for a new Fallout, a new Skyrim? Like, this is coming at a good time, especially now that we just saw that Doom Eternal is getting pushed back another 4 or 5 months. What's really... I mean, I don't think there's really much competing for the audience in terms of what Outer Worlds is offering. Right?
I don't think there is, and with the bombing of, what was that, of Fallout, that open...
76?
Yeah, with how unwell Fallout 76 didn't do, people, I'm sure, have had plenty of time to beat Skyrim. Fallout 4 is old. There's nothing out there that's really like this, you know?
So, yeah, I think Outer Worlds is coming in at a perfect time. I know I'm looking forward to it. I know Andrew's looking forward to it.
I think it's a good time right now for it, too, because it is a big single-player experience.
Exactly, right. We're smothered in a world full of, like, an online component of some sort. This is a single-player narrative, so anyone that's looking for that, this is what you got. So we're going to leave the link in the description for the 19-minute or the 20 or so minute gameplay that you can see. But guys, there's tons of stuff you can go watch. I mean, we were looking at like 101 things you should know before buying it. Yeah. The character creation that Andrew was saying, about 9 minutes or so. Definitely give that a peek because I thought that was pretty interesting.
Even still, even if these games aren't your cup of tea, if you have the Game Pass, you owe it to yourself to at least give it a try. It's not like you're losing money.
It's definitely a top tier game that I would say would be on the Game Pass.
And another perk to the Game Pass too is, if you have it, you can actually preload that game starting, like, I think it was 2 days ago. Yeah. So I already have it downloaded.
Because I went to just go watch it again, and it popped up and said install, and I was like, well, I didn't pre-order it, so what's it installing? And then Andrew was like, oh, yeah, you can get it.
Same thing like Gears of War. Yeah, you can just pre-install it. This was a lot sooner. Gears of War, I think, was a couple days live, not like a whole week before the game. So either way, I think that's really cool. I love preloading because I don't have to sit there and wait for it.
Yeah, so this thing comes out right around the corner, so I'm sure in the next episode or two, we will get way more into it. But guys, moving into our next story, unless there's anything else you want to add on top.
No, I don't think I really had anything else to it. I mean, covered all we can really for now.
Sure. So guys, so we had a different story that we were going to talk about, but like good fortune that falls in the laps of plenty.
Good fortune to body honest.
Nice Spartacus reference. So a couple episodes back, guys, we told you if you wanted to get involved with the pre-registration and the beta testing of the Project X Cloud from Microsoft, you could do so. Well, that started rolling out a couple days ago. Andrew and I were a little disappointed because we saw in various things that we follow in forums and media and Facebook, people were getting them. So us, sitting here, hating life that we didn't get it. As luck should have it, Andrew calls me this afternoon, and he got his email. I checked mine. I got mine. So the Project X Cloud, we did get a chance to finally play. We're going to do a bigger reveal on it, but we're going to give you our
just initial
hands-on initial thoughts on it. So Andrew, you played it a little longer than I did because I was working. You were playing it. Walk me through your experience.
So just to start with it, these are games that are streaming to your phone. You don't even have to have them downloaded.
For now.
For now. Yeah. This is just a beta. You download an app. It's only on Android.
You can do it on an Apple.
No, you can't.
You can't? I thought the email that I was looking at said no, I'm sorry. That was showing how you could pair it. Yeah. Android for sure, yeah.
That's later because my brother called me because he was trying to register. Okay. Yeah, and I was like, no, I think it's only on Android for right now.
Good.
But it's only got a few games on there. It's got Gears of War 5, Halo 5, Sea of Thieves, and then Killer Instinct is the 4. And I actually don't even own Sea of Thieves, so I think it's cool that I didn't have to download it. I didn't have to stream it from my Xbox like they're talking about how you can do games on your console. It just streamed straight to the thing. I thought it was really cool. It's a really cool idea in practice. When I was playing single player, when I was playing, I paired my remote to my phone. It was instant. It was snappy. It ran really well. The only times I didn't have it run, there was an input lag is my biggest thing for this, is when I was playing online. And that's when it matters the most. And weird enough, it was only with the online shooters. And I don't know if that's maybe there's too much going on for my phone, it was never like I didn't have any screen tearing. It looked really good. It wasn't like there was any kind of visual downgrade like crazy or anything like that. And I could see everything, and it wasn't chugging. It's just, it didn't seem like it wasn't 1-to-1 where I'm pushing and going to shoot. There was that little bit of delay. And so I find myself, especially in a shooter, I go to aim, but now because there's a delay, I'm still holding it, that I go too far. So I'm trying to correct and get myself back over to it. And yeah, so I was getting pretty messed up in Halo. Gears is a little bit slower paced than Halo, so I did better in that. When I did Killer Instinct, that was almost like 1-to-1. I even played online with somebody else that he was kicking my ass, and I even came back and almost won. And I don't play that game at all because I'm terrible at it. So, I mean, doing the single player stuff, going through the menus, doing everything else was 1-to-1. It just seemed like it was when I was doing the online component that's when I was noticing it. But either way, taking away just from a preview, a beta, yeah. I'm very impressed with it.
That was the main thing I was going to say. Like, everything, like, I'm just sitting here going, everything you're saying is what any beta, user, what they want to hear. They're going, oh, wow, the only problem you had was the main thing we're working on the hardest is the online component, which by definition and everything we know about gaming, that is going to be the hardest thing, which is why Stadia, people are thinking it's not going to happen. So the fact that Andrew's already saying, hey, everything was fine except for the online component had a little bit of issue, and I wasn't streaming it from my Xbox that's sitting right there. I'm streaming it from their servers. And just this is a good first step.
Yeah, just as a note too, I think Craig wrote down his internet speeds earlier in case that like relates to anybody. Because I tried it on 2 different networks. I did it on a normal, like the 2.5 hertz, and then I switched over to the 5 gigahertz network.
Ping at 15, upload at 21, and the download at 60?
Yeah. And so it was pretty decent speeds, and then it didn't, I don't think it was any different after I switched over to the 5 gigahertz network.
I only got a chance to play Gears, and so when I was playing it, the brief time that I had, a couple matches too, it was running tight. And just saying, when you're online, you will see that lag or that latency because it's going to happen. I kind of want to more talk on how easy was it to just get the controller, right? The controller syncs
it was crazy
straight up
easy to sync.
I love the way the fast reaction that it had, but the more important thing was how many times have we even booted? You were sitting here playing for like a good hour or so. What, 1-2 times? Did you see it?
Yeah,
how many times did you have an issue of logging in?
Yeah, the only thing I had was when I was playing, it would say hold on, connect, something, a connectivity issue or something like that, and it did it.
Which is beautiful.
It did it twice when I was playing.
2 times?
Out of like an hour and a half that I was playing, cycling through all these games, going through all these different game modes.
2 times going from your phone to the Xbox. So, like I was saying, like Andrew and I had a discussion episodes back. What's gonna make or break? What system you take. My main thing was if Project xCloud can deliver, then I think Xbox has got a real good chance moving forward as being the top dog. After getting our hands on it and looking at it, and over the next weekend, we're actually going to play more of it just to expect. I want to walk down the street and see how it's working. I want to see all that. It's running pretty fucking good for something that just came out, in the last couple of days.
Right, and what I do want to say, in all fairness too, is everyone who knows me knows I'm competitive when it comes to online multiplayer games. That's not where I'm going to be playing those kind of games.
Right.
And that's what a majority of these are, is because I've already beaten the story for them, and I don't really kind of care for Sea of Thieves. That's not my kind of game. So what I'm really looking forward to is later on playing those single-player experiences on this, because that's where I'm going to get my money's worth.
So when you come over here and you're waiting, you can be sitting here playing Final Fantasy VIII. You could be sitting here playing... What are you playing these days?
Right now I'm playing Arkham Origins.
Okay, yeah. You could be sitting here playing that.
Exactly. So playing those, the way the single-player was already running on there, the way those menus are running on there, if it's going to be the same, that is going to be where the fuck I'm at.
And you know what we didn't test was my tablet. We gotta bust that out and see if...
if it'll even run on it, yeah.
Yeah, which it should, right? It said Android device. It wasn't... I don't think it was restricted to the
I don't think it was just restricted to phones now.
But it does have the peripheral of the attachment, right? It's got the the thing you can plug the controller to, so you can plug your phone. Because Andrew was playing kind of like leaning on something, but they've got something for that, and I'm sure it can't be more than
right. And
$20,
that would be the thing too. Is if I did, I'm definitely wanting that left me wanting a phone with a bigger screen size now, even though I already feel this one's kind of too big for me.
Yeah, that pocket's getting deep.
Or at least just get like a good sized tablet that can actually run it well, and then I'll carry that with me. I don't care, and just prop that up, and then I can just play that on the go, you know?
Nice. So, guys, the Project Exile beta is out. We're going to have more to say about it over the next couple of days. Like, we literally just started playing it 2 days, so...
so far, I'm very optimistic about it, and I'm actually really enjoying it. It runs a lot better than what I thought it would, so I'm actually very impressed with it.
I would say if any of you guys did do the pre-registration... Double check your emails, because like we said, there's been people that we saw 4 days before us that already have it, and then after we downloaded ours, I was looking on some forums. Other people were still waiting. So just because you don't have it yet doesn't mean
they
won't
did
get
say
it
they're
at all.
rolling out in droves. So
Andrew,
another note. Actually something sorry
Pop
we
off.
forgot to talk about is what I like too is that when you exit each game, it specifically asks you how was your experience on that game, and one of the things on there is input lag. It specifically says what was your experience with that, how was the resolution, how did it look, what was your experience with the game, and then you can even go in and put like your own sort of notes and stuff like that if you want to leave more feedback. And that was something I wrote on there. You know, game runs great, everything else is great, but that input lag is just what is killing it for me when I'm playing online. Because
that's the main thing for the email. They're saying if you are part of this test, please give us feedback. And if anybody of you guys do have that, make sure you are. Don't just take it for granted.
Yeah, no, I love feedback with each game that I played, because that's what I experienced. And I was like, the single player is fine. It's just when I'm playing online, and I specifically said when I'm playing multiplayer, it is just not. It's not there.
Which we knew that was going to be the
and
biggest
it's
hurdle.
Slightly off, but it's off enough to where I'm, instead of being a lot of positive, like I was going like 5 and 18. But I'm also playing Super Fiesta on Halo, where it's just everyone's got random fucking weapons, rocket launchers, and everything.
You were cruising through a couple different modes.
Yeah, so I tried a little bit of everything. I tried Big Fiesta, Small Fiesta, Gear, even just the Gear single. Like, we posted our videos of how we did on Gear, so we know we did really well on that. But playing that, I was just like, But also, too, maybe it is going to that smaller screen that I'm also just like,
which is why I think we need to get that tablet out and see if we can get it running. Because I did a little bit of footage of Andrew playing, but more to come, guys. Again, this happened X amount of hours ago, so we got our hands on it, and we're just letting you know our, immediate experience with it. And so far, so good.
Give it a thumb and a half up.
Give it a thumb and a half, no latency, up, 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 up. So, Andrew, if there's nothing else to talk about on our main stories, are we riffing?
Yeah, I got some riffs. Do you?
I got a couple. Why don't you go first?
So my first one that I'll start with, and I'm ready to eat crow if it is a good game, is that the Death Stranding review game copies are out there.
We could have been wrong.
A lot of people are playing them.
Could have been wrong.
The embargo for that is up November 1st, but there's lots of people that are 40 hours in, however many hours in, saying that the game is amazing, the game is great. As much as I love Hideo Kojima, I thought this game did not look good at all. That now, I might be one to give it a chance. Come over here. Maybe it's something we play together or something like that, even though we thought it didn't look good.
If the goddamn game's good, then what the fuck did you show me in the trailer for 40 minutes, hour-long things at a time for the last 6 months? Like, what did I miss? And maybe Andrew and I just look at it from an older eye. Maybe there's younger kids out there that go, that look great. But all I know is everything we saw looked okay at best, but the fact that this thing's coming in and getting rave reviews, right? I mean, people are saying it's one of the best games they've ever played.
Yeah,
it's a solid 8 out of 10. What did I miss?
Some people are claiming that this is game of the generation.
What did I miss? What happened? Is that ladder cooler than I thought it was going to be?
I might just be that classic Kojima, style preview, because
I'm glad he delivered, because that was the main thing. Was he going to knocked off his pedestal? Yeah, I don't know.
How many years did I fucking have to watch the same gameplay over and over on Metal Gear Solid 5? And whether or not that game delivered or not is up to you. I personally enjoy the game. I don't think it's a 10 out of 10. I think there's a lot of flaws with it, but I like it more than what most people would be willing to. Metal Gear Solid 5 fan.
5, okay.
So, but how many fucking years do we have to watch the same fucking gameplay at E3, this demo, that demo, and it's just the same fucking gameplay over and over and over?
I'm glad that he's able to make a new game that's that's delivering.
And this
I'm
just
just
shows
confused
though,
on what I missed though, because I'm a huge Metal Gear fan.
This just shows that he is that talented, that it isn't just Metal Gear because that's all he's really done for the longest time now. That it's not just, okay, he just built the series and now he's coasting off this series. That he created something new from the ground up.
And a lot of people are saying it's like a new genre. Like he's starting a new thing where it's just this, I don't want to call it a sim walker, but this new sim walk gameplay. I don't know. So I guess when it comes out, now I'm forced to buy it, even though I didn't want to.
Yeah.
Andrew and I are going to play it. And I guess we'll see what all the fuss is about.
Yeah,
all the hubbub's about.
Either way, I want to see the reviews, and I want to see if it's divisive or if it's just solid 10s.
Yeah, so...
Because it could be one of those games, people love it, people hate it.
Yeah, and that's usually how most things go. But moving into my next riff, I guess my first riff, is I like the fact that, especially now that we have the giveaway going on, Call of Duty just came out saying that there's no loot box thing happening. It's going to be all battle pass. So for those of you who are unfamiliar with what a battle pass versus what a loot box is, the battle pass means that the more you play, the more you naturally earn, right? There is no... Or, do you want to go dive a little further than that?
It depends on what you're playing, because some games do have a free battle pass where, yeah, it is.
Well,
the more you play, the more you earn.
Premium.
But there's the premium battle pass like Fortnite
but
has.
Theirs affects nothing outside of cosmetics.
Yeah, it's usually strictly cosmetics.
So there's nothing you can get that's going to make your game any powerful or weaker than the other one. It's, I guess, skin-based.
PUBG has one, and it's weapon skins, emotes, like maybe your helmet.
Right.
It's all cosmetic. It's nothing that's it doesn't make you any better than anybody else.
Which is what a lot of people are just loving. They're going, hey, because this is the first.
If that's all it is, and that's how they want to make their money.
If they don't fuck around with this, yeah, this is the first one that's going to be doing that. If they stick to it, that has no loot boxes whatsoever.
I'm all down for that, because if it is only cosmetic stuff, if someone wants to pay for that stuff and do that sort of thing, I have no problem with that, because it doesn't affect me in PUBG. I really don't care. So
right, and that's something that I think a lot of people can wrap their heads around and go,
what are the odds?
Do you want to? Not again. Yeah. What'd you do?
Nothing. I just opened the beer.
Can the camera see it? He's back. I don't know if you guys saw like episode 17, 18. Andrew gets these bad lucks with these silver bullets of this foam that just kind of comes out of nowhere, and I can't wait to rewind and watch the tape and see what happened. But anywho, guys, so loot boxes are, in theory, out of the game. Battle Pass is in. There is a premium, which the premium means you can get a little more, a little less than what the free version is.
Hey, I like that, as long as it said, all the maps are free.
There's nothing immoral about that.
Yeah.
If I want to dress up in a red suit that he has only in a black, and I paid $1 for it, there's nothing wrong with that. If I can get a gun that's way more stronger than his, and I can beat something way faster,
that's where I draw the line.
Then that's where the problem lies. So kudos to Call of Duty. Let's see if that theory sticks.
The next one I will do is another game that's actually coming out here in November that me and him have been down on. Will be Star Wars: The Fallen Order. A lot of people went out. They got a chance to do previews. I think they got like 3 to 5 hours with the game. And a lot of people left highly positive about the game, saying that 3 hours wasn't enough and it just left them wanting more. So that's good, because I've been dying for a good Star Wars game, because all I've gotten out of Star Wars is kind of shit lately. Except for I don't think that Battlefront 2 story was that bad when I was playing through it. I actually kind of enjoyed it. But either way, this was something that I was wanting to like, but I just didn't think it looked good. But now after going and seeing a lot of stuff and reading what some people have had to say, I'm actually kind of more willing to get this day one. I'll use my Game Pass time if there's Game Pass time, but it's probably definitely a game that I'm going to pick up.
I like that I was on original team of calling out that this game looked better than what the trailers were originally showing to us. Where I think
I flipped. I was negative about it.
Kind of opposite on the fence, but that should just be a game that means you split down the line. Let's just get it and knock it out.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely
because guys, we've all been looking forward to a good Star Wars game, right? And even if you look at like the Battlefront games, it's something that theoretically or potentially could have been really good.
Even so, it's a shooter. It's not the same thing.
Yeah, it's just not the same thing. We want that narrative storyline where what was the last one?
Ever since that canceled Star Wars 1313, that's what everyone's been wanting. And so
they've tried to fill the void with like the MMO, with the online shooters, where step in the right direction, I think. So I won't get too much into it. I thought the game had potential and looked good from the very beginning. The more we're seeing, I'm glad that anyone that maybe have looked at it a little differently is now hearing and looking at something in a little bit brighter light, because we don't want bad Star Wars games. We want all good Star Wars games.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely hype on it.
So nice, Andrew. I like that that was there. I do want to bring this up. I don't want to get too into it because it's not a game I play, and I don't believe it's a game you play. But Overwatch is now finally on the Switch, and it's being looked at as the first big hiccup of all the Switch ports, right? Because the Switch is
I heard it ran like shit.
Yeah, Nintendo Switch has finally been that system where you're like, oh man, I can, maybe it took 3, 4, 5, 6
Actually,
years.
I think it might be 2 back to back because I heard the Resident Evil ports to that.
Why would that one run bad?
I don't know. I heard for whatever reason when I was looking online, I've gotten a reason to play it on Switch. I've got it on my Xbox,
right.
But I heard that those did not run well at all, and that was the only other game I heard about that up until
Interesting, yeah, because I just saw somebody post that they got this thing from I believe it was on their Switch saying after Witcher 3 and having all the DLC and all this and all that it was running good. Maybe not graphically pleasing as what it would look like on a bigger console, but it's running and you can do it. Where Overwatch is just a strictly online game, right? There is no just downtime component. So, interesting gamble that they tried a game on this level, because that's what everyone wants. That can you play an online game in a Switch handheld? Why not start with Overwatch versus anything else?
Right.
Because this is a Blizzard game, right? Overwatch is a...
Yeah.
But it's not doing good. The frame rate is consistently dropping. Everyone's saying if you're going to play it, dock it, play it with a controller. But at that point, why are you not just playing it on a console? So if you are a Switch owner and you were looking forward to the Overwatch, correct me if I'm wrong, but everything I'm hearing has been this is one of the big major fumbles so far with ports to Switch.
I don't think anyone who's taking that game seriously and playing it competitively would be getting it on the Switch in the first place. But
so, interesting move. I'm glad they took the gamble, and all they can do from here is just learn from their mistakes of how do you improve now, right?
Yeah, I guess. So, at least they tried, but yeah. Final riff for me that I'm going to go with today. Or actually, no, I got 2. I'll go with one more.
I'm getting a little something too over here.
I told you, it's that goddamn Dan Marino.
Laces out.
That the Stadia controller, when that launches, is only going to be wireless with the Chromecast Ultra.
You mean when it launches next month?
Yeah, on the 19th.
Yeah, walk me through what that is, because that was something that kind of fooled a lot of people. That
was something they said. It's you just sync up the controller with whatever your device is. And I never thought it'd be that big a deal. I never thought it'd be that easy because I've never synced my Xbox controller to my phone. But with seeing how fucking easy that was today, I don't understand why this is a problem. But the Stadia controller at launch will only be wireless with the Chromecast Ultra. If you're syncing it with a phone, if you're playing it with a PC, you're going to have to use a USB cable in order to do that.
Because at that point, it just runs through my question, because I'm not the most tech-savvy person in the world. Is there a difference in what a Bluetooth can and can't connect to versus on what it's giving out?
It didn't really make sense to me, and I was kind of thinking at first, I was like, oh, well, I guess I don't know how that really makes a whole lot of sense, but I've never connected a controller. I've never had a reason to. And after doing that earlier, how easy that, it took 2 fucking seconds.
I was reading that, the walkthrough, because they break it down what you need to do. I'm I connected it the same way I connected to my Xbox. I just hold the button and hit,
I didn't even know that's what that button was for to the Xbox. I thought it just connected the controller to Xbox. I didn't realize, I know it connects via Bluetooth, but I didn't realize that's how it would connect to any other Bluetooth device.
Cool concept though. What I learned during that thing, I don't know if you guys can see it, but if your controller on your Xbox is all one faceplate, that means it's a Bluetooth capable. Where if it separates at the top where the Xbox logo is, that means it's non.
Those older ones that had the
interesting
blast.
Fact. Now that we're talking about Bluetooth,
I didn't know that. I didn't know that either. So either way, I think that's kind of a big fumble for them, especially with how easy that was. Because I could have that phone anywhere when I was playing earlier. So I just set it up way over there, and I'm just sitting here because I'm moving, trying to get into the right position. Trying to get into my mode when I'm playing Halo. That now, if I have to and I'm playing a game, I have to worry about this cable sliding across the table, or how do I get that?
Did they mention what? Is it going to be updated? Is it going to be patched? Is it going to be something where
they just said
down the line?
They just said at launch, and they made it sound like it's something that's going to be down the line. But I don't know how you patch that down the line that it's not there day one.
How do you launch a thing that's going to be nothing but cloud-based, and then your controller is the one thing that's non-functional? That's a big question mark and a big if for me of going, well, then why the fuck am I getting the Stadia if the goddamn controller that you said should work doesn't?
I just think it makes zero sense because if someone like Microsoft could do it, you couldn't take any notes from how they do it, and they've had that console for how long? I'm not saying you have to use the same method, but you could see how they do it, and then you don't copy that, but you can kind of riff on it.
Yeah, it's mind blowing actually, because once I was reading that, and because Andrew was bringing up that he was going to talk about that, it's just because we had a conversation about it earlier because of the goddamn controller. I'm just like, how is that the thing that you are missing? Like, that was the whole point. The whole point was the controller can do it all. You don't need hardware. It's the controller, and the fact that it can only sync to the Chromecast now means that the Chromecast is the required hardware. Hey, call me old fashioned. But my next riff, guys, is so if you're looking to get your hands on an Xbox or Xbox gear, they just recently teamed up with Taco Bell.
Oh, they do that all
and
the
they're
time.
doing giveaways. Yeah, so I just want to make sure that you guys are aware. They give away tons of Xbox swag, but right now there's a limited edition console with a limited edition controller.
The Eclipse.
And I believe up to a 6-month Game Pass card. So if you want to go buy Chalupa Box, and this is no plug for Taco Bell. We don't get paid for Taco Bell. I don't even.
Hey, if you want to pay
Bell.
us, though, I'll
I don't
take
even
it.
eat Taco Bell. But if you are, we like to do giveaways, so I like to let you guys know when there are giveaways. So go win your Scarlet, go win a controller, go buy a Chalupa Box, and that runs from October 17th to November 23rd. But if you do not like to eat Taco Bell, you can actually send a letter directly in to a limited of 32 times. And if you win, they'll send you a code for it. So, nothing wrong with that.
No, they do that like every year. I remember
every year, but
Dude,
I know ever wins.
Dude, I remember one time like I really like kind of tried for it, and maybe that's why I got like fat for like a minute. Is because I was eating Taco Bell. I was like almost like twice a day because I was like, fuck, I just want to win this Xbox fucking One X because this is before the X came out. I was really trying it.
How sick would it be if we or any of our fans watching won that? I would love to see.
I would go on a couple forums. I see people like winning it, like, oh, I won. This is the second one that I won. This is the third one that I won, or something like that.
Damn,
and I'm like, fuck, dude. Like, I'm over here fucking blowing my fucking brains out for this chalupa, and I can't win shit.
Dude.
Yeah, I was literally getting the boxes, throwing away half the food because I didn't like it. Just getting
it's the same as the McDonald's Monopoly. Nobody eats the goddamn food.
Dude, I got super into that for like a while too.
God, didn't somebody like rob a Monopolies and not take any money, but like all the stacks of like large fries?
I don't know.
So guys, take your chance. Go win a Xbox console, the new controller, and some Game Pass. That's my last one.
The final riff that I'll use that is a little bit older. It's like 2 weeks old, but I haven't seen anyone else really talking about it. And it is a rumor, is that a guy on Twitter, he goes by the handle of PSE Rebus.
So give us a shout out because we gave you a shout out.
Yeah. Had tweeted something saying, don't sell your old PlayStation hardware, PS1, PS2, PS3, or PS4 hardware, because the PlayStation 5 is going to be backwards compatible. Now, normally that's just some guy saying whatever, and it doesn't really matter. But his pinned tweet is from June 28th, saying that The Last of Us 2 will be released on February 21st, 2020. And we did not find that information out until a week ago. A week and a half ago. So obviously he maybe knows a little bit of something or somehow got some information by some way. So either way, take it with a grain of salt.
24th.
But after Xbox was able to go back and do 360 stuff, Xbox original stuff, that maybe they found a way to where they could do something like that. Or at the very least, maybe it's the kind of like streaming service, but put in the disc and we'll stream it. It's not really running off the disc. We just need to maybe verify some sort of license or some sort of thing that you have it. So maybe there's some sort of way that they do it. Either way, that'd be really cool because PlayStation's got a really rich history. I think there's a lot of games on there that I don't think people are dying to go back and really play. But I mean, variety is key and choice is always good for anybody, especially the consumer. I am different. I'm not dying to go back and play a lot of those old games, even though that's what I had when I was like a kid. There are some I would go back and play, but a lot of those have been ported up now to where I could do whatever, especially with stuff like Spyro, Crash Bandicoot,
get the up-res and
fucking Castlevania Symphony of the Night, one of my favorite games, one of the greatest games from that era, has been on there since the 360. That was almost, I want to say that was one of the first games that they even brought up, and then you were able to download.
Yeah, because that was when they kept achievements at like 200 arcade games.
Because I want to say that was even one of the first games I ever downloaded.
It's an interesting concept because and again, not the most tech savvy guy. I've never grasped the concept of why a futuristic machine from 2019 can't run a CD disc that ran back in like 1995, 96, 97.
What I want to say is more interesting is if that is true. If it just reads it off the disc, how long have they been sitting on that technology that they couldn't do it for PS4? They told people there's no way, different architecture, whatever.
Like you can't stick it out. You can't stick an Xbox regular in there and run it on the Xbox One.
Yeah, you can.
Regular Xbox game.
Yeah.
And 360.
Yeah.
All of them.
Yeah. Not every single game.
I'll pull out 5 right now.
You could pull out what's that one Star Wars Old Republic.
Okay.
And you can put that into your Xbox One, and you can play it right now.
I thought you could only do that on online. I thought it only streams it.
No,
not streams it, but I thought it runs it.
Nope, you can put it in a disc and it works.
I'm gonna test this theory. So you're saying Sony's been sitting on a concept that not only have they not done it,
well, they came out
that now they're gonna blast it and go. Or he's saying that they can do all of them.
Yeah, and so how that's going to work, I don't know, because they flat out said it's not possible with the PS4 because the PS3 used different architecture. That's why you couldn't do any PS3 games. So if you could just come out and straight up on PS5, like, oh, hey, you know what, realistically, we just didn't take the time to figure it out because we didn't fucking care, just put your CD in and now it works. Why didn't they do that with the PS4? Xbox figured it out and they found a way, and they gave that to us with the console we have now. Why did you have to sit on that till your next console? But then again, they're in the lead, crazy. So who gives a shit? I'm sure it's not. No one's gonna hate them and be like, "Oh well, fuck you guys, you spurned us on the PS4."
So fuck you guys. So what do you think's keeping them in the lead then? Is it? I mean, because we're getting off topic, but if we're moving into future gen, which is around holiday 2020,
yeah.
What's keeping this thing top dog right now? Is it just exclusives?
That and the fact that they started off games.
So I mean. I'm curious though. Where's again very off topic. I'm curious where subscriptions are going to put us in the next one.
Hey, we'll do a separate video on that.
We have to, I think. So, guys, we're getting very close to the end of this episode. So let's move into the giveaway.
It's practically here.
It's almost here, guys. So this is the last episode for you guys to enter to win Call of Duty Modern Warfare on the system of your choice. So the way you guys enter is. Have to be a subscriber, have to like the video, and then have to leave a comment, #COD, and then please, if you can, leave what system you want to win it on. Now, you guys, it isn't restricted to the video you watch. You can go back and watch any video that has a entry in it.
They are all labeled for which ones do count.
So, Andrew, how are we going to pick winners?
What we are going to do is the same thing we've done before. We're going to choose a winner from each video. We're going to put it onto a hat, and then we're going to draw it live in front of you, and we are going to pull 2 this time.
2 of them. So 2 of you guys get to win. So make sure you guys are entering, and that's going to be on Xbox, PS4. I don't think we're doing PC, are we?
If it's whatever you want, then it's what you want.
Yeah, if you're the one guy that has the #PC, hey, you know what? Andrew will buy it for you.
Something I would like to add is me and him were kind of talking about maybe what the next giveaway should be, but I've kind of had enough of our ideas. We'll come up with something if you guys don't. But if you guys are interested in something, feel free to put it in the comments on what you think should be the next giveaway, because we're more than happy, to give it out to you guys. So,
but don't say PS5s. And don't say fucking Xbox.
Hey, maybe by then, if our channel's big enough and we're getting enough flow, then
we
can do something like that.
Yeah, get a set. Yeah, but oh god. So guys, make sure you go back. Make sure you like them. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure that you submit #COD, because the next video on the 24th, we will announce 2 winners for you guys. And then if you want a physical copy, let us know. It'll take a little longer to get there. If you guys just want a digital copy, we should have it to you by the 25th or the 26th.
Yeah, we'll just go pick it up and send it right to you.
So guys, that is the end of this episode. If you want to get a hold of us, guys, send us questions, comments, concerns to LastCallProductionz@gmail.com. Send them to our Facebook page at LastCallProductionz, our Instagram page at LastCallProductionz, our Twitter account at LastCallProductionz. And if you want to listen to an audio version only of the podcast, check that out at Castbox.com. But guys, we are actually...
Ooh, did you mention we're on iTunes?
As I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. We are actually now on iTunes. So if you guys are looking for the bigger, better, and your Apple users, guys, we are on iTunes right now, and we're going to be moving into more podcast-related things like Spotify in the future. But those 2 are happening right now. So Anything else, Andrew?
Yeah, that entry can only be on YouTube.
Only on YouTube, yeah. So however you listen to the feed, however anyone told you about it, if your mom told you, hey, you could win a Call of Duty, check it out on YouTube. Make sure you submit.
Final thing I will say too is because I'm surprised at how many people don't use it. Actually, I was a non-believer for a while. Is hit that notification button, because there was a long time that I wasn't hitting that on channels I kind of really care about, and there's so many of their videos getting lost in the feed that thing is like really kind of, even sometimes ours, because I follow so many different people that now when he posts it, he doesn't even have to text me anymore. It instantly just shows up and I can add it to my watch later.
I don't gotta beg him when it pops up the next day. Andrew, watch the video, bro.
I'll actually say my favorite thing about it is it shows up on, it shows up when I go into youtube.com, but it shows up before that. I get a notification on my phone and it asks me ignore or add it to my watch later list, and I can just instantly send. I've been sending stuff to my watch list. Yeah, ours I'll ignore. Everything else I add it to the watch later list, and it's so much easier than me clicking on the YouTube channel, finding the video, hit add to watch later, so that way I can actually watch it when I have time. So use that notification, because that really does help. And I was a non-believer for the longest time, so that's the only reason I'll say it now, is because, you know what, it took me actually finally using it after how long?
Ever. Since what, June?
Yeah.
So, guys, until the next episode, which we're going to announce 2 winners on. My name is Craig Prowse. That is Madra Mansmere. And until next time, guys, cheers.
It was really cool to hear his brother talk about it from an artistic standpoint. Yeah. So that was really cool. But I thought it was kind of odd that they don't even bring up one fucking like Mr. Freeze's fucking Heart of Ice, and didn't that episode win like an Oscar or something like that? It won an Emmy. It won some sort of an award.
Yeah, they win Emmys on TV.
So either way, that was the most popular episode for a little bit, because it won an award.
Yeah, now you're saying that, I remember that Bane thing sticking out, and unless we're ignorant on something that we completely missed, I was like, what the fuck are they talking about?
And then they talk about other stuff, but they don't even talk about Strange Love, which is one of the most iconic standout episodes because of like Harley Quinn. But I like the idea
that was beat and fucking...
Yeah, then when Joker fucking... Look, I did your plan, I hung him upside down because now it looks like the piranhas are smiling. If you have to explain the joke, it's not funny, and he hits out the fucking window with that big-ass fish. My bad. I didn't get the joke.
She's wearing like the red fucking... Is she wearing the red like 90? Or 90?
Yeah, I think that's how the episode starts, because don't you want to run up your Harley?
Oh,
and